It's.
Listen, you're just here to look pretty and talk. That's it.
Welcome back to the NoPantsSidePony Experience. I am the side pony, Katie Hogan. With me as always, the No Pants, Alex LaChance. And we have a +1, Jesse Burdick. No other name.
No hair Burdick.
No hair Burdick. There we go.
Hair?
Both
Awesome.
Burdick.
There we go. I'm in.
He is often referred to as the producer of our show. He is my fiance. He is often a jerk.
Thank you.
And we're having a guest host tonight, along with his jar of Pedialyte, because there's a large event approaching this weekend in your life. What's it about?
It's the annual chili cook-off in San Diego. I have a 5-alarm chili I'm really stoked about.
For real?
Went with the dark red kidney beans opposed to the light red kidney beans this time around. So I mean, it's
Get your butthole ready.
yeah, it's a roll of the dice.
Hold on to your butt.
I have a powerlifting meet. It's the U.S. Open, not to be confused with the tennis stuff.
Awesome.
Yes, that would be awesome. It's the RPS UPS Open or U.S. RPS U.S. Open.
You just made up all those letters.
No, I didn't. But it's a powerlifting competition.
And you
some big names will be there, and we're bringing a team down. We have myself, Jeremy, Sean, Lori, and myself.
I wish you guys could roll in like uniform, like tracksuits with like a letter.
The
P.
Lillibridges kind of took that
I
because they
know.
just wear like tracksuits and then they just rip them off. They're in their singlet 100% of the time.
I know.
So
It's so
otherwise,
true.
I would totally do that.
Well, just the jacket, like jerk varsity high school kids.
Look, I mean, for Jeremy, if he makes it there,
Yeah.
I'm stoked. I'm
In-
super happy.
And has his actual singlet.
And yeah, I mean, he's driving down, so I mean, there's the possibilities are endless of him made
Hundreds of miles of mistakes that can be made.
Correct. And I mean, squirrels that he could see, and he could just veer off, and he could
bald
be
eagle.
he could be in Nebraska. So it could be a lot of fun. No, it's going to be great. A lot of big names. The biggest one is a fellow named Zahir Ahumenov from Azerbaijan, also Sweden somehow, by way of Sweden.
Wow.
He'll be there. He's a psychopath, and he'll probably be one of the first people to ever put 1,100 pounds on his back to squat it raw. There's less than 20 people who've ever squatted it in gear over 1,100 pounds. So he's put 1,100 pounds on his back in training and squatted it. And he's great because he's got this really awesome broken English, and when he writes, it's even better. So all of his posts are, fuck, come back, kill America, squat, 500 kilos, kill. So we're going to be best friends by the end of the weekend.
He's like one of your favorites, huh?
He's awesome. I mean, he's a massively strong person, and I mean, he's a complete, he's out of his mind 100% of the time. And but that's what it takes to put 1,100 pounds on your back with just a belt and knee wraps on. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him perform and see everybody else perform too. We've gone through a big training cycle to get here. Everyone's made it through healthy and better off. It's been an amazing training cycle, and so I'm hoping that everyone can go and kind of step on the platform and perform and do really well. The first thing that we got to do is get people there. Second is get people on weight. And then once we're past that on Friday morning, we just get to eat and lift and be happy.
So how crazy are the weight? Like people are losing a lot of weight to make weight. What does that entail?
Well, for us, we have 2 people really doing any actual cuts. It's Sean and Lori. Lori started from she's gonna be 148, so 154.
She's going down to 148?
Yeah. So
Oh
she's
my
gonna be.
God.
She started at
Lori.
154.
My heart goes out to you.
Yeah. But I mean that's 6 pounds, so it's not too bad. And so she's been kind of creeping down from, like, she was up at like 160 or so.
But her last meet was at 165, or she's done 148 before?
She's done 148 before,
Okay.
but she's been on the 65s for probably about a year.
Yeah,
the
that's
last
what I
time she
thought.
did it was at not 2 LA Fit Expos ago.
Okay.
So it's been a while for her to make a cut. But this isn't a super big cut, and we planned it really, really well. Sean's going to be the wild card. He's coming down a lot. He was 215 today, and he'll be 198 on Friday morning.
God willing.
Like 20 pounds.
Started at 228.
Oh my god.
So it's pretty typical, and the reason why we can do this is not in all powerlifting federations. There's a 24-hour weigh-in, so it's not like Olympic lifting where it's a 2-hour weigh-in. You basically got to walk in and lift.
Right.
You can't really be cut any weight, maybe
You
a
have to
couple
eat a
pounds.
breakfast sandwich.
Right, exactly. So for a 24-hour weigh-in, it allows us to do this sort of these big cuts, which is just kind of part of the sport. Some people think it kind of screws with history a little bit because there are people who are going to be, cutting from, like there's a guy named Rob Philippoussis coming down from 335. He'll be a 308. So I mean, you can cut this amount of weight with water, carb, and sodium manipulation. My guys and Lori started on Sunday. So, and it's basically just you carb load, and while you're doing that, you're shoving a ton of water in as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually going to gain weight to start everything, which usually always freaks everybody out.
Yeah.
But you need to like kind of hydrate your cells and get them kind of very full. And then what you start to do is you take a mild diuretic. What we usually do is the over-the-counter dandelion root. And then you just start less water and less water and less water as you kind of get there, and everything just kind of
Gets sucked out.
Kiss it all out. Yeah. Lori is driving down, so it's going to be really fun for her.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
and I told her she's going to give me on the grapevine going down. So she's
She
like,
wants something to pee into.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's pretty common for people to do something of a cut.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm doing a 5-pound cut, but that's really, really, so mild. But Sean is a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's done it multiple times where he's a 10 to 15 pound plus cut before, and he was doing this in high school, and he's just got the mind for it, and he's okay. And that's the biggest deal, is if you have the head for it. I still contend that, I mean, you can suffer enough to lose the weight, but the biggest deal is putting it back on. So,
The next day.
The next day. So I mean, we're going to weigh in on Friday morning at 9 o'clock, and then Saturday morning at 9 o'clock we're going to be starting lifting. And if you haven't reconstituted the weight that you started a week before, that's when stuff is really, like, belts fit differently.
Yeah.
Like you're moving around and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't feel the bottom of my squat, or anything kind of happens. It all makes a big difference. So you got to have a good reconstitution plan. And people will make the mistake of just going out and eating a big breakfast, and then your stomach is shrank over this week. So you got to do really, really small meals and kind of build up.
So a lot of small meals, not just big meals.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully we'll have Sean, up to about like 6 to 8 small meals on Friday, and then a lot of sodium, a lot of Pedialyte, and put some IV bags in him, get his electrolyte balance back to where it should be, so he's healthy, so his kidneys don't shut down, and then kind of go from there. So that's the weight cut. I mean, it's I don't always recommend it, and I actually told Jeremy, who was in 198 most of the time as well, not to do it, just because it just didn't make sense anymore for him for this one. I mean, you can go and do it another time.
Yeah. Tell us the numbers from your most extreme weight cut from the pictures that are on the internet. If you search Jesse Burdick and you scroll down through the images on Google, you'll find an emaciated, starved, skinny boy that has the head of Jesse Burdick. And that's when you cut down to 220.
Yeah.
And there's one picture, he's got his shirt off and he's holding a Pedialyte, but he
with
looks...
a fat Mark Bell right next to me.
And yeah, Mark. If you sometimes people cut him out, so it's just a picture of you. But yeah, if you find the full version, Jesse's looks like your head on a really skinny, jacked body, and then Mark's standing next to him.
That's when Becca thought I CrossFitted, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
was like,
where
oh, that's when Becca CrossFitted.
when Jesse CrossFitted.
Dang.
But-
What?
Oh, we have it. Oh, and that's when he took a selfie of. That was not on the weigh-in. That was like probably dropping.
That was right
Close
before.
to
That was
it.
right before the weigh-in.
Oh.
Yeah, hold it up to the camera.
Hold it up to the camera, producer. That's what
That
we're looking for,
is this
people.
guy.
So that's you trying to weigh in at 220. So
Yeah.
you cut from. Do you remember what you cut to get down to that?
Oh yeah, I did that cut 3 times, and that picture is from the first one. In that picture, I'm
You look so sad in the photos.
well, it was 218 in that picture, and I
Ugh.
come down from 244.
Okay, so that's a holy god. That's a 26 pound drop.
Mhm.
And then what did you weigh when it was time to lift the next day?
256.
Ah!
Oh my gosh, you're so
Oh,
skinny.
Keegan found the one with next to a fat Mark
Show the
Bell.
It
followers.
doesn't really see. You can't see the
I can't
sticker.
see anything. Show the followers.
You're gonna
If you're listening, yeah.
All 2 of you, Mom, just shoot me a message. I'll send it to you.
Well, we'll
That's
text it to you.
insane. The amount of like down, up, like that's
Yeah.
just. And
So how
did
does
you get totally messed up from that? Like,
I was gonna say how
right?
adrenals, like how does
Yeah.
that work with thyroid and all that jazz?
If you do it right, the negative impact afterwards is minimal. You got to understand, I didn't starve myself.
Right.
I was eating. I was still exercising. I was still doing everything that I should be doing. There's just tricks that you can that are out there to get yourself down, and the carb, sodium, and water manipulation is the biggest one. And then depending on how far out you are, you can go ahead and get a diuretic. You can get a serious diuretic, something like Lasix. You can use something called magnesium citrate, which is awful. It's nicknamed magnesium shitrate for all of you out there.
Like so many stomach aches.
It's just terrible. But I mean, it just depends on how far out you are. You need to have all these tools at your disposal. And then there's sauna and hot tub, et cetera, whatever you need to do to kind of get yourself down. This has been going on for a long, long time. This is, powerlifters didn't invent this. This is,
Right.
fighters, wrestlers, etc. So we've learned all the tricks of the trade from way back when from them, and we just kind of pick it up and roll forward. The rebound effect's actually, it's awesome. You feel like, feel so good. Getting to eat, getting to drink, getting to start to kind of move around, getting like, I just remember feeling like cold, and I was never cold, and it was just like
Like when you were dieting?
yeah, and I was just during the whole cut, I felt like all the blood was like in, just making sure my internal organs were gonna work and like
So there's
be cool.
no fat to keep you warm.
And then so once I was putting nutrients back in, you could just feel yourself swelling, and you could feel tingling and blood flow into your hands and into your arms and etc. And it was a really interesting. It's an interesting experiment. I don't recommend it to anyone without proper guidance because
not
it can
interesting.
go really, really well. It can go really poorly.
Yeah.
It can, and you can screw yourself up. There are people who it's like, I'll just stop eating this week. Like, it's probably not the best of ideas, but I mean, it might work. So, this is water. I didn't lose, I'm sure I lost glycogen, therefore I lost some muscle mass.
Yeah.
And, did I lose some fat mass along the way? Maybe, probably. But, it's mostly
Yes,
it's
in
mostly
that you
just,
did.
it's just mostly water. Well, that was beforehand, coming
Oh.
from 42 or 44 down. There wasn't a ton of
Fat loss at the end.
fat loss at the end. Yeah, the biggest thing is just water manipulation. So as long as you can rebound and then you get back to normal, and the biggest thing is getting your electrolyte balance back the next day.
Where the Pedialyte comes in.
It's the Pedialyte, and that's where IV bags kind of come in, and just knowing that you gotta salt everything, and drinking a bunch of like Pedialyte, Gatorade, pretty much nothing actually clear. And just forcing a bunch of, vitamins, minerals back in your body so your body will hold on to it again. Because your body's still trying to force everything out from what you did the week before.
Craziness. Let's talk a little bit more about the meet. What are you trying to squat? Roughly, you don't have to say the exact if you're not sure, but like what is your ballpark middle to ending hopes and dreams?
Sure. So I'll be 275 at this meet. So
Like you'll weigh that much?
I'll weigh 275, yeah. And then so that's the weight class I'll be in. I'm going to open with 705. My second attempt will be probably 740 to 750. As long as that goes well, we'll go 770 to 780 or something along those lines.
Freaking insane. And you're doing the raw stuff. You've been doing that lately. That's like your new thing. That's
What
like
is
the
raw?
trend.
Yeah. So that's actually
No
a really
fancy
good question.
pens.
That so in powerlifting, there's
Hold your
different
mic.
things. No, there's different things that you can do. There's equipment you can wear. There's single ply, multiply, and then there's just raw. And then unfortunately, there's raw with wraps, raw without wraps. So classically, I've been a multiply lifter, which is wearing equipment, which is where you wear a squat suit, bench shirt, and a deadlift suit,
Deadlift pens.
deadlift punts.
I could never do that. They're like shorty shorts. You could.
Oh yeah.
And then they have like a little suspendery thing that straps down.
Sexual.
I mean, I guess it could be.
I don't know, the singlet and all squat suits are about as unattractive as they get.
It's like
really.
he's wearing a canvas sack.
Yeah, it's pretty much a burlap sack.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's those options in powerlifting. And raw lifting is kind of really, in the past couple of years, taken hold of the sport, and that's where everyone has kind of moved towards. So when I got into powerlifting, I just wanted to compete at the highest level that I was able to and compete on the same platform and with the best competitors that I could. So the multiply and single ply divisions they're all a mass exodus to raw, so it just made sense for me to kind of head that way as well and just go that way. So that's what I've been training for the past couple of years, and you may imagine I'll probably kind of stick to that. I still have a couple of things that I want to do in gear, and those are ultimate goals that I've had for a long time, and I will go back and I will do those, but for right now, just kind of hanging out and doing the raw with knee wraps.
That's cool. And then, okay, those are insane squat numbers. Tell us a little bit about the bench. Pretty much anything above 300 pounds is amazing to us because in CrossFit there's very little bench pressing. Not because it's knocked so much. If anyone wonders why there's no bench pressing, there is value in it, and CrossFit sees the value in it, and they do program it, just not as frequently. And the reason being because the bench itself is in part helping to assist your midline stability by being a base for you to like lay your torso against, versus an upright press, a standing press, military press, whatever you want to call it. You are having to create all the stability. Obviously on a bench, you still need to create all that stability as well, but that is one reason, and just because in general of how the transference of movement from Olympic lifting and doing things like medicine balls, sandbags, like all these other things, they're like, okay, a bench, not that you can't use a dumbbell or here and there, so those kind of differences, there's just so much more universal to teaching the press. So we don't see it as much in our program typically, but will you tell us kind of what your goals are for this one?
Sure, and I think just to kind of build on that a little bit, I think it's also an issue of equipment. Not everyone has a good bench to bench off of or anything. And some people don't even have benches on CrossFit. Like Mark and I have done a powerlifting seminar at a CrossFit gym that didn't have any benches.
Oh.
So
What did you do?
It's taught the floor press, because that's what Dr. Floor intended.
Don't
He
believe a
invented-
word that Jesse said.
Dr. Floor invented the floor press, 1964, when he was flying from Baltimore to Singapore.
This is
Because he
how
left
they
his
would.
keys in the door.
This is how they would teach.
That's awesome.
People would be like, Dr. Floor. Okay, that might
Got
be
it.
a test.
It's gonna
Later.
be on the test.
I'm sitting in the back like,
3 miles.
don't listen to anything he says. What are you gonna bench?
What am I going to bench? But hold on. So one more thing. I think I agree that the transference isn't necessarily there, but I think that more CrossFitters should be doing more benching, mostly for the reason of just mid-back stability. I think there's a lot of overhead pressing and your shoulders just get thrashed. And I think you can get a lot out of substituting some of your overhead pressing, whether it's strict jerking, push press, whatever, with bench pressing, get enough of a carryover, getting your arms strong, and also being in a different plane, which is going to affect musculature of your pec, shoulders differently, also kind of your mid back as well. And a lot of mid back stabilization is huge in CrossFit, going overhead, going overhead squat. Transference is there. It's not. It's just two different sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not going to be a direct thing unless you have a bench, and we're never going to see a bench in regionals, and we're never going to see a bench rest in the games.
Maybe a 1 rep.
So you just
I know my back is smoked after benching, and
Right.
not in a
Yeah.
sort of like
Lats.
it just gets so used,
Yep.
and it's not used to holding the weight in like that.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely gonna help catching a snatch, catching a jerk.
It is in two of the benchmark girl workouts. I don't know that, I was going to say 3, but I'm pretty sure it's just the 2. It's in the workout Linda, and it's in the workout, is it Lynn?
Is it pull-ups and bench press?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's definitely there. People
Yeah.
don't, but yes, you don't see it programmed as frequently. Any CrossFitters that have a strength bias to their training, you'll often see it with them there. But yeah.
Yeah, so just to kind of throw that in there. But for me, on Saturday, I'll open with 484 and then move to 501, 507, and then hopefully we make that one and then go 512, 518.
Dang!
That's like impressive squatting.
That's
and he's doing it with his
huge.
arms.
That would
Squatting with
be
his
a big
arms.
PR for you on a meet, right?
Yes, I think my meet PR is 490 something along those lines.
Wow.
Got
And I
this.
mean, the 500 bench has been, my white whale that's kind of sitting out there. I've hit it 4 times in the gym leading up to a competition, and I've missed it 5 times in a meet. So it's just one of those things that's just been kind of elusive for one reason or the other. But, feel very strong, feel ready. So, just going to go out there and give it a ride.
Awesome.
So I'm ready.
That's exciting. And then deadlift, your fave.
Deadlift. Deadlift I'll open with like 685 is on the books right now, but that can go up to, up or down depending on if I hit my 3rd attempt in my squat and bench to hit a total, and then I'll go for a small PR around 730, 728 or so. So the meat's in kilos, and we're kind of talking kilos and pounds, so I don't know exactly what it is, just in case you think I'm making stuff up.
That's crazy.
730-ish, and then go 740, 750 if a 3rd is there, or if I need to, try and pull that for a 2,000 pound total.
So exciting.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It's really cool because this is going to be an interesting one for me as a coach. This is the first time I've had this many lifters coming with me to do a really high level meet. Usually it's been me, maybe one other. So it's been, and usually when that happens, I'll just farm him off to someone else, or her off to somebody else, so we can kind of just go about our days, and we'll be there together. Like when Tony and I would go, it'd just be, we just kind of sit there and hang out. There was just like, hey, make sure you do this. We'll go, cool, thanks, and we'd be fine. But this is going to be a little bit more of a challenge, but I think it's going to be awesome because just the atmosphere and just the high level of lifting and everything is going to be really cool, and I'm looking forward to both coaching and also lifting at this meet. It's going to be really, really fun.
That's very cool. And it's a one-day meet?
Yes, it's a one-day meet.
Okay. I don't know if the girls were going to go on a different day. That's cool.
Yeah. Can you put your thing in? Chalk now.
Hello?
All right, cool.
Is it working?
Yes.
Okay. Slight difficulty. Good thing our
Producer.
and sound mechanic is here.
Always, yes.
Well, do you have any other questions for yourself?
Yeah, you're supposed to ask me about the peaking cycle running into a powerlifting meet.
Oh.
But those are the peaking cycles of an Olympic lifting meet and peaking
CrossFit.
into like a CrossFit competition.
So, what's it like to peak for this meet that's coming up on Saturday?
I know.
Aside from the weight.
Keegan's been dying. There it is.
Yeah, does this
Speaking
meet even
from-
exist, or was this like a big joke that you played on Keegan?
So that he wouldn't have to do chores.
Correct.
Huh?
Yes.
There is no meat. It's a joke.
Was never a meet for
Nope.
me.
No.
It was hazing.
Yes. No, it was luckily, in powerlifting you have a team of people who will kind of ride with you, and Keegan, who's been good enough to kind of jump in with us and kind of, it's actually really good, get his feet wet and kind of understand and experience what that's like. And he's still around, so that means I think he's going to do one himself, and everyone else will kind of pick back up and do the same thing for him, run him into the meet and give him training partners and people to kind of work with. So as far as peaking goes, first of all, I don't think there's really peaking much for a CrossFit competition. I think you mostly, just because of the factor of stuff being unknown until you kind of get there, and then once you actually know what they are, you pretty much just practice those things, and you just kind of try and get better for it. I always, when we would do our stuff, or when we're talking about helping people run into CrossFit competitions, I always think back to kind of the strongman days, when you basically know the 4 or 5 things that are coming your way, and all you need to do is in your training find out where you're weak in all of those and kind of bring them up. You can be pretty sure there's some sort of a chipper coming, there's some sort of Olympic lift heavy coming, there's going to be something long, there's going to be something short and fast, and there's going to be some gymnastic skill in there. You need to sprinkle some other stuff on top of there, and voila, you have a CrossFit pie. And strongman was kind of the same. You're going to have some sort of a shoulder medley, you're going to have the stones, you're going to have some sort of a deadlift, whether it be off the floor, car, raised, etc., and a couple of and then some sort of like a carry and drag or something along those lines. So you just prepare yourself as best as you can for those things, and then the strengths and weaknesses you just kind of bring up. And then as you're kind of getting closer and you understand and know the events, obviously practicing for those events and more or less have a strategy on how to get through those events is how I would only quote unquote peak, I guess, for a CrossFit competition. Peaking is all about just knowing how CNS intensive your sport is and how you're going to recover from it, and therefore what you're going to kind of get out of it. I was actually talking to someone today about an Olympic lifting meet where they do their snatch opener, their snatch last warm up and opener, so their snatch last warm up 3 days before, their snatch opener 5 days before, clean and jerk opener 6 days before, or cleaning the last warm up 6 days, and then 7 days before is a clean and jerk opener, and then they kind of run in. So you're looking just basic. You're working out and you're lifting at a high level, which would probably last warm up's going to be around like 80 or 85%.
I don't remember what I did. I literally just lifted what was on the bar every single time. Pretty much had no idea what
You're
was
the best
going on.
client there is. Those are the best. Just go and
I just
lift.
lifted the weights.
Excellent. But that's usually how it kind of goes. So you go up to 3 days before you're lifting. For us, because the squat, bench, and deadlift are more CNS taxing, we have to drag out a lot of things over like a 4 or 5 week period. And it's been studied and scientifically proven that the best, and this is coming from one of the best powerlifting coaches of all time, Boris Chico, where he's saying the best time to kind of take your last heavy squat should be 10 days out, last heavy deadlift should be about 14 days out, and then he really doesn't even care about the bench. So.
And what do you define? There we go.
Yeah. So I don't understand why it keeps clicking off. I can't understand it.
You're going to have to put those together.
I know. That's fine. That's always the way.
I just wanted to do that.
Camera malfunction. We're back.
So we're usually like a 4 week period where we'll find openers and we'll do an overload, and then we'll do like a 90%, and then we'll start trailing off our volume and just basically just working on the lifts, making sure everything's kind of crisp and kind of leading in. But there's a couple week period where we're doing 100% plus of the lifts via reverse bands or partial movements, which we utilize a lot in powerlifting to kind of overload the movements themselves and therefore get a central nervous response, to kind of overtrain ourselves, and therefore we start to undertrain, and then you get this big kind of rebound. You get a hypertraining effect, and then you kind of run into a meet, hopefully obviously riding that wave in. So it's this one we lengthen it out for 5 weeks. Usually I've recommended like a 4 week, but that's just off of experience of myself and training the clients and the lifters that I have. I just talked to someone who Dan Green coaches, and they had just squatted their last heavy squat, which would be their opener, today. So, I mean, there's some people who will try and ride the wave like an Olympic lifting a peak as very, very close running in. And for me, I just can't do that. I need more recovery time. And I think most people who are going to be lifting heavy need that recovery time, especially if they're going to be cutting weight, which is going to take about a week. So I think there's a lot more things to plan in as far as that goes. That's going to depend on the length of time for the peak and when you stop.
You think it's just because you're lifting more weight, so your body just needs more recovery because you're obviously squatting more than someone would snatch or clean?
Yeah, I think it's just more CNS intensive, so you just need to recover from it. It's just going to take a lot longer, and a lot of it is because of we're lowering the weight.
Yeah.
When you clean and jerk, you're not. It's all concentric.
Yeah.
So I mean, the bulk of our work, the bulk of any work done in strength and conditioning is going to be the lowering phase, where it's going to take 80% of your energy in order to do that. So that's where it all kind of gets fuzzy and weird, and things kind of start to change.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of it. The fact that you have, I mean, obviously I knew you had the eccentric, but how much of a difference that makes, in addition to the fact that the 3 moves also, you can lift a lot more weight relative to clean and jerk.
Way more than a snatch.
Because they are different range of motion and different speed and everything.
Yeah.
But totally with the eccentric.
Yeah, I remember talking to Max about it, and when he was doing the Bulgarian stuff with Abajev, and he would talk about Abajev going, it was like, there's no reason to go under 90%. It's like, well, why? Wait, what? I mean, Abajev was a butcher, and he just ran people through, and just didn't really care.
That was Olympic lifting.
In Olympic lifting, right. And it's like, there's just no need to ever go underneath it. You just go, because it's all concentric motion, and it's just not going to beat you up that bad. And it's like, well, I can't, I mean, he couldn't walk down the stairs at that point because, they were working out, 3 days, every day, and squatting and clean and jerking to a max, every day.
Oh my gosh.
But that was just his opinion. He was just like, look, if I have the studies, I have the lifters. It was like, you just don't ever need to do it. Just go heavy.
You don't need to walk, ever.
Yeah, exactly.
You only need to lift.
Only need to lift.
Yeah, concentric walking.
That's just falling, I believe.
Interesting.
That's cool. What other topics did you want to cover as a guest host? Was there anything you wanted to ask us? This is our favorite
There's so
portion.
many things I'm sure you don't know about us.
This is our favorite portion of the experience, when we let our guest host feel on the spot and have an opportunity to ask us whatever they'd like.
I think that's a great portion of everything. How was your weekend, Alex? How were the seminars? How was everybody? How are those coming along? Tell us about those.
Seminars are booming. We're going to try to keep them down to just 2 a month. This month I have 3 of them. So I'm going to the East Coast.
Again.
So 2 weekends in a row. And then the first weekend was in Bakersfield, California, which was still like a 4-hour drive. So just a lot of traveling, but it's great. Lots of people. I get to meet a lot of people. I get to see how a lot of different people move, and seeing like new weaknesses that I might not have seen before, new mistakes and habits that I might not have seen before, and it helps add to my programming. And it just helps me be a better coach, just seeing there's, different people have different problems.
So when I was, when we were doing the powerlifting stuff, Mark and I going around the country and doing that, we were always surprised, kind of like with you. So are you surprised, or are you impressed or disappointed in people's movements? Because you're seeing these people and you're seeing it through a lens of just a very high level gymnastics, where if you were able to just put out like a base program, like here, what percent of the people that you see at your seminars are actually going to be able to complete all of those?
Would not be able to.
Okay. I think that's...
And that's why I have so many clients
right.
now, because they see that there's that lack, and they see that although there are a lot of amazing coaches out there, they might not have, or they don't have the eye to catch these mistakes. And a lot of times it's just a matter of hand placement from here to here. It's keeping people from making their muscle up.
Right.
And if you don't know that, if you can't look for it, then you have, a ton of athletes not being able to do movements because of a tiny little problem.
Yeah, I think that there are coaches out there who conceptually understand that, but seeing at it in fast motion,
in real time,
time makes it next to impossible unless you've seen it 1,000 times and you
Right.
recognize, like, you don't even need to see the hand motion probably. You see, like, oh, you tried to do this,
Yeah.
like, you're screwing this up, you need this here,
Yeah.
right? So how is that affecting what you're going to do in your programming moving forward and in your seminars moving forward? Are you going to quote unquote dumb things down? Are you going to still put that stuff out there? I mean, what does that mean for you as a coach? I mean, to see people not able to complete 30% of what you would
Yeah,
normally put out
yeah.
there, I assume you want people to be successful and you
Right.
want people to be able to do stuff.
Yeah.
So how are you going to kind of adjust to that?
So you first have to let them know that they're not going to be able to just jump right into the sexy stuff. And I've had to add a lot more just basic movements, holds, things that I previously wouldn't have thought were necessary. I just would have assumed because in all of my clients and my training, that's just been a staple and like the foundation's there. These people don't have any of those, like, it's not second nature to hold a hollow position or an
Right.
arch position, never mind in a dynamic movement, never mind when they're fatigued.
Right.
So I've added a ton of, I've added more basic stuff. And everyone starts a little bit lower now to make sure that that's nice and clean and it's there and we have the good habits before they even get to start tackling the complicated movements. And everyone that's patient with it is really successful. The
That's
people
good.
that are like, oh, this is boring, well, like, you're not gonna have good muscle up then.
Yeah.
You have X, Y, and Z that you need to be amazing at first before you should even think about that. Otherwise, you're going to lead to injuries. Otherwise, there's so many injuries that happen just when people are tired. They have imbalances in their body. And, like, if those things aren't addressed in CrossFit when you're trying to go hard against your friends,
Yeah.
like, you're just going to be throwing your body around and getting hurt.
That's
and getting
true.
frustrated.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good point.
yeah.
How about you, Miss Hogan? What's new in your training, in your fitnessing life?
Starting to train with the team at our gym at CrossFit CSA and working alongside the other two girls that will be on the team. So I'll be able to join them at regionals for the first time in a team scenario. That'll be
Ever?
fun. First time in a
Never done
team, and never in regionals. I've done a couple of little local things.
Yeah.
And I did Wadapalooza that's the all-female team. That was fun. But yeah, first time ever. So that'll be in the middle of May. So we just are starting to train as a group. So we're getting to kind of kick my own butt a little bit more than I had post-open. And yeah, just shifting gears to that has been a nice little transition. Having some additional training partners, still getting to do stuff with the No Pants, of course. And yeah, that's my news.
Do you feel like being on a team, everyone has different roles? Like, is there a strong girl, a aerobic girl, a gymnast? Like, do you feel like, and like, what's your role on the team?
I think it's tough now with the way they've been running regionals, from what I understand and what I've seen, that you can no longer have specialists the way that you kind of used to be able to hide, excuse me, people's weaknesses prior. These are the now workouts where you must all be able to do everything.
I remember back in when they
So.
really just brought the teams out, you could even hide someone so much that they wouldn't even have to they wouldn't even have to contribute to any sort of movement, right?
Like, when not everyone had to be able to do
There
muscle.
Right.
was a way around it. That stopped a while ago, but they would have weird little, like, minimum work requirement for each person, and then you could hide them after that.
Right.
So, sorry, excuse me. But I think now it's a lot more balanced the way they have it, and it flows a lot faster too in the workouts. I think I think it's more interesting to watch. So, but to be honest, I know very little about the nitty gritty. I'll still be figuring that out as we run through previous year's workouts. What I see as my role is as someone who's an experienced competitor, as someone that knows the floor of regionals and understands it. I recognize that I am a little green in the team environment, but I know how to be on a team from other sports and I know how to communicate. So I'm excited to be in a leading position whenever possible, whether that's in practices or on, text messages the night before, helping organize things, or something as simple as, okay, for this workout, I'm going to be the one calling the transitions. Whatever I can do to help with that. And something I love to reiterate to people that I learned when I was doing one of my SEAL Fit excursions when I did the Kokoro camp. One of the things they constantly reminded us and had us say to each other was ready to lead, ready to follow. And it's something that the SEALs also practice, is from what I've been told. And that's really important in any sport, in any team environment, that you have to be ready for both at any moment, because that role could change, whether whoever's in charge at one moment, that might have to be adjusted on the fly. So I'm excited for the whole process, but yeah, I think I'll just be able to contribute whatever I can. We all need to be gymnasts. We all need to have cardio. We all need to have strength. And myself and the other two girls are definitely well-rounded in each area, and the boys too. So who knows? Yeah. Super.
I think that concludes my question and your answer segment of
thank
the
you for contributing.
Podcast.
Have you enjoyed speaking into microphones?
I enjoy speaking into microphones often. It's
These are your microphones
They are
that you
my
let us
microphones.
use. What
Yes.
inspired you to buy a microphone? And then 3 more.
podcasts.
You're someone that dabbles in the
Karaoke.
podcast.
Yes, I was interested in starting a karaoke bar, and I started just
Like a
collecting
Japanese
microphones.
one?
Yeah, just for mostly. I just wanted to be able to. I've never been in one, but I just wanted to be able to have sushi and have a bunch of.
I
Japanese
have. They
people.
love for you to sing Celine Dion. Celine Dion. They always want you to sing it, and
Where?
they don't.
As an Asian place?
No, don't be racist.
Oh, you
At
had an Asian. You had an Asian accent.
in Japan, at a Japanese karaoke
You said
karaoke
it
bar.
like Asian.
Yeah, but they're not.
Hello Kitty.
I mean,
style.
that was clearly a Japanese accent, not just categorized as Asian. I'm just kidding.
Well,
You
we
were
got to
being
snort,
racist.
but I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, so
Whatever,
they
really.
love Celine Dion, they love Bob Marley, neither of which is in my repertoire. But yeah, that was my experience in a Japanese karaoke bar in Japan. We had to sing My Heart Will Go On, we had to sing Three Little Birds, and then we whipped out some Lisa Loeb on them.
Damn.
Dang.
Yeah, it was good.
Wow.
Do you guys have any karaoke stories?
I've never done it.
What?
I don't. It's like dancing. I don't.
No
like to do it in front of
pants.
people.
Oh yeah, the wedding. How was that?
I only fitness in front of people.
She said she didn't dance. No Pants went to a wedding after her seminar, and
It's pronounced seminar.
gross. And
Special kind.
did you or did you not dance? Are
I
you
didn't
saving it for our
dance
wedding?
on the floor. I am saving it for your wedding.
You
I
danced on the
danced
tables?
And
There's a pole.
You danced
Oh, there was a
on
pole.
Keegan?
No.
Wait, what
I
happened?
did. I danced on Keegan.
Interesting. Wedding.
Keegan was
Not
the
on
pole.
floor. Keegan was my
That's
pole.
the best way to get guys to dance. Is tell them to be the pole.
That's true.
That's fair. It
Easy
worked.
peasy.
But I didn't want
Apparently,
to
it's a good way to get you dancing.
So what you're saying is you danced so well that you would have taken away from the wedding and all the other
I
dancing.
didn't want to be a distraction.
Got it.
for everyone else.
That's why I
Fair
don't
enough.
dance very often as well.
But you will on our wedding because we are the center of attention. I don't mind being the center of attention, so I will be dancing.
I'm gonna throw dollar bills on you guys while you dance.
Yes! Bring dollar bills.
It's
Bring
happening.
I would be bringing it rain.
$100 bills.
3,000.
We can give them back.
However you
I
want.
just want the rain effect.
It'll be your wedding gift.
Or change.
You have to dance for your
Sprinkle
wedding
change
gift.
at
That
us.
could hurt.
Make it hail on you guys?
That'd be bad.
Make it
Is that
hail.
what that's called? Make it
Make it
hail?
hail.
Oh, that's
That's hilarious.
I shudder to ask where you learned what CD strip club you learned that from.
It's from Tash.0.
I
That's
was
great.
hoping it was from somebody else.
No, sorry.
Have you ever karaoke'd?
Have you ever made it hail on anyone?
Don't answer that.
No, I only make it rain.
For Katie, that's it.
No.
It's true. I get no dollar bills. You've never karaoke'd?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's it. We're gonna have a co-ed bachelorette party, and we're going to sing. We'll go to like Koreatown
False.
or Japantown, and we will.
Probably not.
No, okay. Here's the way it's more fun, and then we can say goodbye and end the podcast because people are tuning out. But listen to me. I understand that karaoke
Ooh,
can
she's
be.
getting close to the camera. This
I
is
understand that it
important.
can be not fun. And the reason it can be not fun is because you do it in a huge room with a bunch of people you don't know,
Right.
right? And they're all treating it as like amateur night or open mic night where they're like, this is where I can showcase my talent. I'm actually a great singer, and like I'm taking a serious thought into what. No, these are not the people you want to be with. You want to be with your own friends, possibly inebriated, in your own little room, right? Safe, cozy,
Like
couches all the way around, TVs, lights, whatever. Lots of foods being brought in, beverages if you're interested. And you get to just pick whatever songs you want, and they play in your own room. And there's like 3 microphones.
Can I just sing Slayer the whole time?
Yes.
You wouldn't even know what I'm singing.
It wouldn't matter because you'd be singing in a
And then you could do
microphone.
this, and you could just do this
Exactly.
one.
And there's no people that you don't know staring at you. And you can like ring the buzzer, and like the waiter will bring in more food. I know that's exciting. You can choke yourself out with the microphone. Well, some of them don't have cords. Some of them are wireless. Usually they're wireless.
Can we still pick up? I should have done this the whole
They're
time.
wireless. But
This
this
is so
is what you do.
comfortable.
This is how you do karaoke. Not the stupid American way where you're in a room with a bunch of idiots that think that they're good. You get your own room, go to Japantown, go to Koreatown, get your own room, do it right. I've done it. That's how I did it in Japan. And then we took our clients out that way in Koreatown in LA, and it was way more fun. The Asians do it right. You heard it here. Ban American karaoke bars. Down. They're horrible.
What is going on?
I'm just trying to help you guys understand.
This is such a
You guys didn't
such a
know.
political stand.
You don't even care. Someone out there knows what I'm talking about, right? You know that you've gone and you've
Jim,
been to Paris.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you.
You're nodding right now. You've been to a stupid American karaoke bar. You guys, let's do it.
Maybe they got discovered there.
No, it's dumb. Let's do it. Okay, we're in. They're in.
Yeah, I don't think I have a choice now.
It's gonna be just me with my horrible voice. But I'm gonna have fun.
Most likely.
All right. Well,
Oh, that was exhilarating.
since no one else cares about what I'm talking about, we're gonna stop talking into microphones and
We'll
say
just talk to each
goodbye.
other.
Deal.
Goodbye from the NoPantsSidePony Experience. Goodbye from Jesse Burdick, aka nothing, because there's no AKAs at all.
So I mean, should people like?
You can
go
tell
to
me your little code for the Instagrams.
I was gonna say something about maybe the listeners or watchers going to SoundCloud or iTunes to kind of pick this up and see.
Why would we tell
whatever.
them to go where they
Why
already are
would you
because they're
educate
listening?
our listeners?
You-
We're telling them at the end to go listen
Give
to
them-
this on the.
Give them likes.
That doesn't even make sense.
Share.
That doesn't even make sense. All we're gonna do
All right, you guys
is
keep
tell you
on
to
marketing
say.
this so brilliantly.
We are not gonna say where to find it when they've just watched the entire episode. You're gonna tell
Got
them your
it.
Instagram.
All right, Jesse Burdick.
That's it. That's his Instagram.
That's it.
For more fighting and getting along, join us back at the experience.
To get the
You're wrong.
experience.
Got it.
We're right.
Deal.
Please make it hail on this page.
Bye.
Bye.
With likes.